Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Welcome to episode 77. If seven's your lucky number, then seven is a lot today. We're recording on the 7th of August plus three couple weeks. And it's not, I'm not a big numbers guy. I don't really believe in number. Like, I believe in number. Like, I know numbers are like they are. Like you can't. I don't believe in. Well, you could because like you don't just look outside and see number, right? You don't just see a number like oh there's a lot of fives out there today. And that's I mean you can that's something we put on the world. What are you doing later? I was just thinking about what I was doing later and I was really looking forward to it. And I don't even have a specific thing I'm doing, but I'm like, that's going to feel really good to be later, which I should be enjoying now. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong with now? I gotta figure out how to move closer to the camera and still so I can get the emotional. I have to right now. I just have to do it for I can't build it up. Anyway, like why is later? I think it's because of it feels free. Later feels now I'm doing this, and this is free too, not paying anybody. But it's like I know I'm doing so I don't. In my schedule is full until this is done, and then I'm free. And I do like this is I like this. This isn't. I mean I don't know if I was I mean it's not like I'm making money on it, but like if I was a not that you I'm fine. Don't let I mean like oh he I did that to a friend. A friend recently posted an Instagram reel about making fun of people who ask for money. But he put his real Venmo and I was like, I'm sending you money now. And he was like, you're the only person. One other person did it and they sent him like $1. And I was the only person that really sent it. I was like, yeah, I take jokes seriously. I'm a comedian. All right. You say something as a joke. What are my options? Okay. What are they? Go ahead. List them and write it down as you so you can message me later. If I'm a comedian and someone says something that's like a lie, right? Not like a joke, because I can laugh, right? I can just laugh. But if someone says something and it's like a trick, but it's funny still, and then what am I supposed to do? Well, I can be like, no, wait a minute, no, is that that's kind of fun, but more fun for me is to be like, yeah, let's okay, here's $100. I gave 100, but he gave it back. It's not like and he was doing fine. He had helped me out with a thing and wouldn't let me pay him. It was like a work thing and like an audition. I don't know why it was so. Why was I so vague about that? It doesn't. It's not under the table. He wouldn't even let me pay. But like for acting, sometimes you have to do an audition. And when I first started doing auditions, you had to go to a place. And now they're like, hey, just do it at your place. And you're like, all right. And then you do it. And they're like, no, you should record that too. And then let us watch it. Well, now I'm just doing someone's job now. That'd be like if you went to McDonald's and you were like, I'll have a burger and fries, and you're in the drive through and they're like, well, you do that now. We just, here's the uncooked things. Just go, actually go to this. Here's a list of what it is, and then go make it. But, but I don't want, well, you want to eat it, right? Yeah. Yeah, I do. A lot of people want to eat it. And if you want to be one of those people that could possibly, that's the thing about audition. It's not even like a real, like it is real, right? Like they're someone's job to say it's your turn to audition now. But if you don't ever hear back and you don't get the job, like if a tree was it worth like I know they saw you and they like you or whatever, and maybe you'll get the next one. But like if you never know why, so but now SAG after lets you do it in their building. I just saw that recently, which is huge. I spent so much money to have people. Oh, like not in one setting, but if you add up all the auditions and all of the times that I like paid someone to record me for the audition, um, I don't know how much that would be because I don't keep track. I don't. Some people keep track, of stuff like that. Those. people are called millionaires. No, they like someone was telling me that one time. Like people are millionaires. No, every dollar where every dollar is being spent, every single second of their dollar is. Well, I don't want to be a millionaire then. Keep half, okay, and I'll just get to be a little lazy about it. That like if anything you can I know $1 million isn't a lot of money anymore, but if anything you can get with your wealth, maybe it's like not worrying about every single cent, dollar. Yeah, that's my point of view on that. Kids will destroy. Like I look at my expenses and to go on the road you have to buy a plane ticket. Like I stay in a hotel I usually put myself up in. Sometimes I rent a car, you're eating out. And I look at those, I'm like, okay, that's why that was expensive. But that you get paid money to cover that stuff too. And I'm like, but when I'm home, I'm gonna really save money. But then like when I'm home, I'm like, all right, we're going here and that costs money. Like if I go to Target with my kid, it's I feel like cheaper to just pay $25 an hour to have someone watch him. That's why they don't have childcare at stores because they're like, just bring your kids in here. They're gonna buy stuff because they don't understand. They no store ever that I guess maybe like really really expensive stuff, but no store ever is like, come on, slow down with your kids. No, they're like, bring them. Grocery stores, okay, grocery store, they have things where they'll give kids free stuff. Like when I was a kid, you would go to the bakery and they give you a free cookie if you were a kid. They want the kid. My parents were very like I remember my dad was very don't touch anything and every time we walked into a store, it was kind of like we were casing the joint, That I didn't say that in a way that would but like it was like don't touch anything. Don't touch any don't ask for anything. Don't touch anything. We were never here. We don't live in the area. This is not it's like we were just a cover and he didn't it wasn't a real but it was like very don't touch anything, don't, and it wasn't a yell, it wasn't like it was just like do not, and I remember it and I feel it and it wasn't a super positive thing, and and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be that dad, but now my kid will like run up to a stuffed animal and embrace it and I'm like that's ours now, your face is on that. So anyway, don't know how we got on that. Maybe that should be the name of the podcast. I don't know how we got on that. How did we get on that? How many times do you just sit down and talk, right? I do it once a week. So that's today we're drinking out of a 2018 NLCS baseball cup. LA determined the Dodgers did not win. They won this NLCS. They did not win the World Series that year. They lost to the Red Sox. And this is the 60th anniversary of the Dodgers, I believe, moving to Los Angeles. I believe that's what it is. So that's what I'm doing. I'm wearing a brown American Apparel tri-blend t-shirt. There's holes in it. Do you ever think about that? Do you ever notice? Like, here's something. This is a thing. I can't believe that no one's talking about this. First off, no one tells you about this. No one ever, for all the things. Do you ever hear that? Like, how many times can I start a sentence? No, like when I'm looking back on my life, right? And I'm halfway, maybe more, maybe less. Who knows? I feel like I saw a video recently, and it was like if you eat like a lot of sugars or carbs and then don't do anything or brush your teeth, you're gonna die earlier. And I'm like, I brush my teeth, so yeah. It's hard when I put my kid to sleep. That's not how you should say that. When he goes to sleep, so I'll fall asleep too, and I haven't brushed my teeth yet, and that's usually what wakes me up. Like last night, I was super super tired because I did 2 days in a row where he had no school. That's how weekends work, and because usually right now I have the flexibility of school. Like he wasn't going to start school till next week, but we went to a local school down the street. It's great, public, but the PTA is strong. PTA strong. If you get a good public with a PTA strong, how can you go wrong? I do wonder I gotta remember the other thing I was gonna talk about. Oh yeah, okay, I got that. How I was looking at my son's schedule recently, right? And they have a 20-minute recess in the morning, and then they have 20 minutes for lunch, and then they have another 20-minute run around period, and then they have like a 20-minute gym. Maybe gym's a little longer, but it's like when I was a kid, I feel like recess was like 15 minutes. But how did we ever get anything done? Like if you were like, I'm gonna go to the gym for 15 minutes, you're like, well, I just got here and now I gotta go home. Like I know everything's close together. I remember playing like full kickball games with like our teacher was like our ref, and everybody had to bat, right? What's 15? Maybe we did that one time. Do you ever wonder if all your memories are just like, oh, that was one day and everything? All the other days were way different, but this happened one day, and that's defined my whole experience of third grade was the day my teacher was the referee, and it felt like we played a real game. When I played kickball as a kid, this is my career progression. I feel like I started out as a kid is, you kick it and you're whatever. But then like third or fourth grade, I like peaked. Like I remember kicking the ball, but I also think the fielding was poorer. The kids aren't as good. Because I remember kicking a ball and it went all the way through the parking lot into like the garden by the church. And I remember running around the bases multiple times. I was a very confident, cocky third or fourth grader. And I remember saying, just being very happy about it. I'm embarrassed about the way I celebrated back then. But I remember that, just letting loose on a ball or whatever. But then, like in fifth grade, I didn't think I could kick the ball at all. And maybe it's because people could field it better, or maybe I just got in my head about it. But yeah, that's strange. So Um, yeah. How do kids get anything done in 20 minutes? What are you doing for 20? I mean, I don't know. He seems okay. He seems happy. I wish that I could go to school with him every day if I wanted to and just watch everything. And then no, because he's having an experience he's never had before, right? He's at school. And he doesn't know if it's crazy or not. Like the other day, oh, this is a really big parenting moment for me. You ever say something and you're like that? I'm gonna share that with others. That was a highlight. Like I wish we could have our own, because like you watch baseball or whatever these sports. There's highlights of every game. Which, by the way, can we ease up on the ticker and the scores? Okay. When I was a kid, you turn on the highlights and it's like you got to watch the game and then find out who won. The only people that do that is quick pitch on MLB, but there's still a ticker. I want to turn on highlights to see who won, not be like, oh, they won. Let's see how that happened. Like, how boring. You just told me what happened? I just feel like the whole sports media industry is like everyone's on their phones and knows all the scores every second of every day. And maybe the gamblers do. But gamblers don't need to see the highlights, really. Maybe they, for the next game or whatever. But like, I remember as a kid, you'd turn on Sports Center not knowing who won anything. And then you would watch it and you would be like, oh, wow. Like they would build into the highlight the drama of the game, and it was happening in real time as you were watching because you didn't know who won. And then after the hour went, you would watch it all again with the knowledge. So you do the second viewing. If I could change anything about the world, that would be the part that wouldn't help the most people, but it would make me happy. There's some things, like I was talking about this with a friend recently, a very funny comedian, Caleb Sinan is his name, and is alive. And we were talking, and I forget how it came up, but I was like, I think I want to be Amish, but just for the 90s. Like I want to like, and I feel like that's probably how Amish started. All respect goes to whatever, religious beliefs are behind it and stuff. But I feel like that's how it could have started. Some guy in the whatever, I don't know what, they don't use electricity, so the early 1900s maybe, was like, I like it. I like the way it was in the 80s, not politically, of course, but, or the 70s. That's how it all, but I kind of like the technology part. So we're just going to do that. And other people are like, you know what, you're right. Maybe we can just have DVDs and stuff. But that's, I would like to be 90s Amish. That's probably unfair to talk like that. But I would like to go back at whatever technology we had in the 90s. That's just all you get. And I think that would be enough. I mean, obviously it wouldn't. I maybe that's a movie idea. I should write. I'm so glad that very few people. I don't have to worry about giving away ideas on this podcast because the numbers are not giveaway numbers. Amish times. Okay, screenplay. I'll get that done by next week. No, like Matt, like I think so. So what do you get? You get like VHS. Perfect. Good. Easy. Uh, Blockbuster's back. In our community, we're bringing it back. It's like we don't churn our own butter, but we're renting out VHS DVDs. Yeah, maybe I think, whatever year DVDs start. I don't need Blu-ray, but DVDs I'll take that. And internet, learn to read a map. Go to the library, get a map. Books, read books. Email, I hate email. Is the word text? No, I'm gonna have a little recorder, and you're gonna call, and all my messages are gonna come that way. And any messages I have to return, I will call you, and I will leave it on your little tape, and that's enough. I think the fact that we have email makes everyone be like, we can talk. Oh, we include everyone on this conversation. No, you don't have to. You don't have to include. When I was a kid, to include everyone on a conversation, you'd have to call every single person on their phone and then leave I guess some people could have had like two-way call or whatever, but and leave them the same, and then they call, and you're not going to do that. Not everybody needs to know everything. Not everybody needs to know. 90's Amish. I'm not going to be able to do the podcast anymore, but it'll be fine. It's just my kid will be a little messed up, but you can do medicine. Medicine's fine. And cultural beliefs and stuff. Anyway, that was my big idea. Why? Am I sad that the 90's are over, or the early 2000s, whenever DVDs started? Am I sad about? No, I'm not. I'm very happy with my life. I don't think I was happier then. Not that I wasn't happy then, but I don't think it's like one of those I just think that simpler times make it easier to live simply. When you live simply, your brain isn't going all these different places. Because when I get my kid to sleep, you know what I do? I could go to sleep, or I could lay there and just do nothing, or I could go and do work or whatever. But first thing I do is I grab my phone and I'm like, let's see if anyone sent me a message this way. Let's see if anyone sent me a message here. Let's see. And really, it's just being like, where is the love? How come no one? Maybe someone loved me on this app, but for the sake, maybe someone loved me on this one. It's not really like love, but it's like maybe someone showed me attention over here. Maybe. And I would just love to not have that as an option anymore. Because if you do get messages from people, sometimes it's like, well, that's nice, but that just took away my time right now. But sometimes it's like, when you don't, then it's like, oh, I have like 6 different social media accounts, different, and I didn't get DM'd from anybody I know on any. How many likes? What am I doing this for? If I can't get a like on a reel of a show, and you can't take it personally, right? So I think I could really start a cult with it. Not a cult, but like a little move. I mean, so I think that's but things get bigger, right? Things get bigger. Like I remember hearing there was some like philosopher or something when like stories first started happening. Can you imagine complaining about stories? Some philosopher was saying that they a long time ago they were talking about stories and how they were very dangerous. I'm not saying social media is dangerous. I'm just saying it saddens me to be like, and it takes away time. I could just put the phone down, but I'm like, there's ways to get work done on it. So it works your way into your life. Like a cigarette is never like, hey, if you smoke me, I don't smoke, but if you smoke me, you can also talk to your boss right now, which maybe with a cigarette break you can. That's a good point. But phones are always like, oh, you can do this thing for work. You can do this thing for work. You can do this thing for work. And when you're a small business, that's like kind of the obsession is like a stand-up comedian, whatever, small business. But anyway, yeah, 90's 90s Amish. It's more of like, I think I'm saying it a lot because that's the title of this episode now. And I want someone to listen and be like, oh, that makes sense that he titled it this way because he had a lot to say about it. But I'm not a real against progress thing. Someone posted recently how like there's these glasses that you'll wear and everyone will wear them and you'll be able to look around and learn about everything you're looking at all the time. And I'm just like, I don't even like sunglasses. Like, I don't even like the glasses being like, let's change the weather around you. I don't need like a compute. Like, we're trying to get away from screen time and someone's just like, no, the screen's going to be your whole face. I know that you're trying to limit screen time, but it's just going to be your whole face all the time is screen time. No, I don't. Why? Why do I need that? Why? The good thing about this podcast, other than those, is like I feel like when AI looks at it and imitates it, it's not like they're getting an advantage in the podcast world. Maybe they're not looking at. But yeah, 90's Amish. That's what I would do. Not old car. I feel like I'm going back a lot on this a lot. What's wrong with microwaves? Like I know that like my apartment has a microwave, but I was watching this show, that's House Hunter's show or something like that, where like a couple. I like to watch it because it's always like a couple with a problem, but it's not each other, and I like that. Like sometimes they make up like, but it's not like a big. There's no big problems in the couple. It's always like, well, which dream are we gonna make come true? I think this dream's good, and then the other one's like, I think this dream is good, and then at the end there, the one that gave in is like, well, I didn't get my dream, but I like this dream, and you're like, oh, that worked out great, and I still think that we'll get to do this, and then they'll laugh at an inside joke that was created during the episode. That is, I don't know if that's House Hunters or not. I don't know. It's on HGTV. Cable, bring cable, 42 channels, done. 90's Amish, like 40, 30 channel. Let me click around and be like, there's nothing on. Let me say there's nothing. Let me turn it off and be like, I'm gonna go outside because there's nothing on. Let me be like, I gotta sit here right now because this is only on right now. And if I miss it now, I gotta wait till summer for reruns. Like I want that anxiety. I don't want to sit down and be like, there's everything is. No one says nothing's on anymore. I like the little problem of nothing's on. I don't like the big problem of like, well, we cut cable to save money, and then we realized we wanted to stream this app and this app, and now we're spending a lot more than cable, and we still want cable for sports. Like I would rather have what? There's nothing, 90's 90's Amish is what I want. But the medicine, and the progression of thought. But yeah, there was this philosopher who was talking about stories a long time ago when stories started to begin, and he's like, stories are dangerous because people can get so wrapped up in a story that they'll do whatever it says, and that's dangerous to give people the power to control people's minds by thinking of stories and sharing them with people. And now we're like, well, I gotta cook dinner, so I gave my son a computer, and hope that's not bad. No. Today we were driving to soccer, right? Football, and oh yeah, I was very proud of myself. I haven't told anybody this other than my son. I haven't even told my parents. I'm very proud of. So my son is in school and they have iPad. Bring back iPod. Remember when an iPod meant that someone was rich? I remember in college seeing people with iPods and being like, "Well, they're going to be okay. They're fine." Like, or it was like after college. I don't know. Whenever people started having iPods, I would see one and be like, "You're good. Yeah, yeah. You work at whatever, but you're good. You have an iPod. All of your songs are in this little." Anyway, so my son comes home from school. Right. I said this, and I didn't plan on saying it, but it's something that I want to build my life around other than the 90s Amish thing. Like I got two different ways to live, and this is one of them. So my son comes home from school, and I feel like whenever he shares something with me, I feel like I'm the only person in the world that he's ever shared it with, the only person in the world that he will share it with. And it's because of the environment I've provided to, like, usually when I get a good parenting moment, I feel like it's the episode of the sitcom where like the character is who's like kind of flawed. I know everyone's like, you're not flawed. No, I do have flaws. Recently, someone, my son's mom came over to get something or pick him up or just, I don't know, to be there. And she was like, walked in and I'm on day, maybe it's 2 weeks now, 14 days, 15 days, 14 days. I'm counting. Who's counting? No, I'm count. You say who's counting as a joke, but as a parent, like, no, I'm counting. And it's not fair, but I'm very happy because my son is here. I'm counting. I'm counting. It's been 15 straight days. And if you're a parent in a non-single parenting relationship and you have a parent, you do all the days. But you also have hopefully another person that's they call it co-parenting when it's like two people in separate households. But if you're married and you're not co-parenting, then there's a chance that you might be a co-parent soon. Everyone should contribute in whatever way it's been decided that you guys will decide. But 14 days, not just me, and he has been in school, which wasn't planned. I missed the vacation part of it and the lack of, oh, we got to wake up for this and go to bed or whatever. Like that stress could have been gone. I could have had no, like, we got to go to bed now. The got to go to bed stress as a parent is like, it's the worst non immediate problem stress ever because food, easy. A lot of people are coming out about food saying, your kid will eat, he won't eat. Give him the food. They get to decide. That's my theory. Recently, my son stopped eating applesauce. And I reached out to my babysitter because my son said that she made him eat applesauce and he wasn't hungry. So now he's not eating applesauce. And he came up with that all on his own. I didn't bring up hunger strikes in any of our bedtime stories. So he just maybe knows that I've never, ever, I've definitely seen family like when we were like at him. I find out later, like, oh, I left him with a family member and they were like encouraging him to eat and get a lot of the little stuff that parents or people caring for kids are like putting on the kid are kind of not in the day to day in this moment a deal breaker on whether that kid's going to live or not. So ease off the gas on that. Like the food showdowns of like, or even the encouragement of like, I know this from my childhood. The only vegetable I ever ate was corn. My dad made me broccoli when my mom was out of town, and I was at an age where you don't throw stuff up, but it just came up, and I wasn't even trying to be a jerk about it. I was just drinking a lot of water because I didn't want to taste it, and it just came out. And he like laughed a little, not like laughed at me, but he was just like, "Yeah, I don't think you have to do that anymore." And so I ate only corn was the only vegetable I ate. Tomatoes, but that's fruit. Cucumbers, fruit. Um, and I would eat fruit like apples and stuff and cereal and like regular dinner stuff. And then when I hit like high school and like I was playing sports and you're exercising a lot and I realized how healthy things are and how good it is. Like I just started eating it all the time. And so these little like I get it if you have like maybe I don't know. My theory is for food, just or for life in general when it comes to your parenting. Just do what you want your kid to do either now or when they're your age. And that's because they're mimicking everything, right? Like my kid's very funny. He does a podcast every Tuesday night after I go to sleep. He's got that. Um he does all the stuff that his mom and I do. He's just there, you know? And the other stuff that I don't do around him, he doesn't do at all. Like sports, when he was younger, little, we did it. But when it's like a parent and a kid, I don't want to like make him go out and practice, so we don't do it. And like he goes to clap practices and does it, and it's fine. But it's not like it's big of a part of his life as it was when I was a kid because I haven't presented it as much, you know. And I think it's okay. You know, he'll be okay. But food, I cook the food, I eat his food. I say this is for you, then I eat it, and he sees me eat it, and he'll eat whatever it is. Also, it helps if during dessert or after I leave the food out when he finishes dessert because kids don't want to miss dessert. You know, maybe some parents are like, dessert, what's that? We give her good fruit. Okay, good, way to go. Um, he'll like be done with dessert. We'll be watching something on my phone together, so it's not screen time, and then he'll just go back to eating the food that he didn't finish from before. That's like that feels really good. So that's my theory, but you know, if you want to have a thing where you talk your kid into eating something, I'm very easy on it. Very easy. He's small for his age. I don't know. But so that's my thing. I feel like sleep is like it's the biggest because you do one thing one day and he's like, this is how we're gonna go to bed every night. And you're like, yeah, but we have school tomorrow. So we gotta go to bed now. And then I'm getting angry because I know it's all on me. It's all on me to be like, no, we're going to bed now. But then if I do it in a very like rough or kind of harsh way, then he's not gonna fall asleep right away anyways. He's gonna be like, why is dad being irritable? It's all planning, you know? So anyway, um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Someone told me, I don't know if I said that all right. Someone, my son's mom came over, and after she's been doing a thing where, and not the complete, but like 14 days, you know, just me. And it's not like I don't, it's been even up through the year. So I'm like way up now, 54%. And who's counting? I am. And she'll like sometimes come to pick him up with me. Like she'll meet me there and then we'll walk back, or she'll like go to do a drop off and we'll walk. And I'm just like, I get what you're doing. You know, I see it. You're stealing time with your kid. You're getting to see your kid every day, but I'm doing all the labor. You know, I'm doing the cooking and the cleaning, the best that I can do. I'm the bed, all the stuff, and you just get to be like, ah, la 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 la, and take up my day when I need a lot of hours to hit that 7:30 bedtime on time. And that's late. I think 7 would be better. When I was a kid, 8 o'clock was when I was like 5th grade. We're figuring it out. But she said that my house is a little messy because I've had 14 days in a row. I haven't had the time to like really ever recover. You know, it's like this is the life, right? Working, being a parent can be like, if they're not going to school during the day, it's he's up for at least 12, 14 hours. That's minimal. You're eating with them, but that's like you're kind of on call. And you can do some stuff, but it's like I remember my parents for his birthday, they bought him this toy where it's like it projects a thing that your kid can trace. Which I was like, so grateful, so nice. Thank you for doing that. But also I love his scribbles and stuff, so whatever. But my parents' whole idea was like, oh, this will be something that your child can do that's not a screen, so you can get stuff done. And we've had it for about 6 months. And the other night, he like saw it and he started doing it, and he did all the characters. He did like 5 of them, and I think it was 15 minutes that I had to do anything. Thank you, 15 minutes. So, anyways, my house gets a little messy because I'm like, we're just gonna go to. I'm just gonna put him to bed and figure it out. And she said that it looked like the movie Big Daddy, which I thought he was a great dad in that movie. And I check in about the mess. I try to like, it's physically clean. I clean the floors where we eat. I spray. We have a vinegar spray. There's a great Trader Joe's spray. This, maybe I'll pull it out next time. This spray, it's like this, what's it called? Cedar wood. Have you heard about cedar wood? And something else. Go to Trader Joe's. Every Trader Joe's is different. That's what's great about Trader. But if they have this spray, I've been using it on surfaces, and I don't see anything anymore. Like no living creatures are crawling around, and it's all natural. My friend who works in extermination said that bugs don't like those scents, but it's hard because you got to spray them all the time. But if you just spray down eating surfaces every day. I'm clean, but there's clutter, and I live in an apartment. Anyway, I was gonna go on a so here's what I said that I thought was really good. So my son has an iPad at school. It's at the school. It's not his. No iPads. We don't have iPads. I want to get an iPad because yeah, like I bring my laptop over to watch stuff while I do dishes. I'm like, this is a bad use of a computer. Like this computer is made to like function as a computer for workers, and I'm just like, let me pull up, you know, Netflix or whatever. No loyalty. My son has an iPad at school and he never used an iPad before. And he said that they were doing math. And I didn't really understand the whole story because he's a kid. And when he talks, all the sound comes out as his height. And so I got to bend down. And sometimes I miss the details. Also, the words he uses aren't always, but I got the gist. I didn't want to make him repeat it a lot. But it sounded like they were doing math on the iPad and he had an answer. And one of his friends was like, that's not the right answer. You should do this answer. So we switched it. And it sounds like he got it right. But I was with my son for like a little while that day. We did a lot of good, fun stuff, calming, fun, nice. And he started just talking. Things just start coming out, And I feel like, oh, I'm a good parent now. He can talk to me. That's all. No matter what, all the details, food, sleep, he can talk to me, which I feel like will, keep him off the smack. Not that he ever is that the word for it. But he was like, Dad, was that something I shouldn't have done? And it wasn't clear he didn't like look at someone else's paper and write it down, but someone told him an answer and it wasn't his answer. And he changed, and he was like, and I was like, hey buddy, this is the part that I was very proud of. I was like, hey, I say buddy a lot to him. I feel like I should say, hello son. Hey buddy, your mom and I spoke up for her, but I think it's true too. We do not ever care if you ever have the right answer in anything. We just want it to be your answer. And I felt proud about that. Because part of it's because I'm a comedian, we're both kind of in jobs where being yourself, finding out your true way to express yourself individually is the most important thing that's going to further you in any way. Whereas like if you're an engineer and you're like, well, and you don't know an equation, no one's going to be like, well, we're glad that you thought it was this, but you can still have your job. But I thought that was really good because there's so much pressure. I thought what I said was really good. That's not even a humble brag. This is right. And no one's talking about it. There's no children's book about this yet. It doesn't matter to me if you're wrong at all. What matters to me is if you're you. And you can't help but be you as long as you're saying the things that are coming out of your brain. And whatever. I don't know how it applies to math. But let's go to some questions. Has episode 77 been as fulfilling for you? 90's Amish, hashtag. I don't know if I can start another thing. You go to karaoke. What are you singing? That's a question that an anonymous writer wrote in. I've thought of this recently because whenever I get questions, it really, whenever I show up to the podcast, it's nice to know that no matter what I have, like I feel like people listen to there are some people that listen. I don't know if anybody listens to it all the way through, but if they do, hopefully it's not to like be intrigued the whole way. Like I feel like I listen to stuff that's calming. I never did that as a kid, but as an adult, I listen to a lot of baseball radio broadcasts for teams I don't even care about, just because the voices are very calming and it's something entertaining and fun. And I'm not necessarily like I like knowing that there's a whole world out there that cares about something that as simple as their home baseball team playing regular season games that aren't going to matter, Like most of the teams aren't going to make the playoffs and they know that now, but people are still going to the ballpark and announcers are still getting paid to do the games. And I love the idea that this is a moment that is important, not because of what it does for you in the future, but just because we all decided it's still fun to watch right now. I don't know. So I got a question. It's this question. this is a continuance of episode. If you have questions about this episode and where these questions are coming from, these kind of were connected to 76 questions. I just didn't get to all of them. So this question is: you go to karaoke night? Question mark. What are you singing? Which kind of sounds like, do you go to karaoke night? No, I will. Like, I don't go to any nights really. I would go. Like, what do you think about karaoke night as like a date? You know, like a first, because that's a big. One time, I was on the road and I was eating at a restaurant, and the server told me about karaoke at a different place, so I went to that different place, and and I was under the impression that I was kind of like, because when you're traveling and you meet someone who invites you someplace, you're like, oh, well, they're going to talk to me when I get there. And they were like, who cares? We just wanted you to know this is going on, which is fine. And I sang Umbrella by Rihanna. And I'd done that before when I visited my younger brother in college. And it was visiting your younger brother in college time, which was a lot more alcohol was being drunk. And it wasn't karaoke. It was just me singing it when the bar was playing it, and I think I thought the people enjoyed it, but I don't think I would ever do that again. But I like, what would I I heard one person say before that they like singing like a slower song at karaoke because you can really get the attention of people. And not that I need attention, but I do talk to a camera for 53 minutes a week. So I there's a song by Noah Cyrus, who is Miley Cyrus's, I believe, younger sister. You'd have to someone fact check that. Not younger. Okay, that's me talking to myself. People talk about doing podcasts by yourself. You're just talking to them. Yeah. Anyway, Noah Cyrus. It's called what is it called? It's called. We can look this up. We'll look it up. Live fact checking. Noah Cyrus sings sad songs that I've liked because her sister is so happy. She's so happy. Well, I think when she wrote that song, she was happy. I don't know. Noah's happy all the time. I guess people have certain things they trend to, or like are attracted to. Um, Young and Sad. That's super sad. July. July is the song about this girl who's in a relationship, and it's not a positive one. It's pretty. I would say from the way it goes, it's emotionally abusive. The way he talks to her through the song, and and she's breaking up with him for sure. She's only 25. Look at her. Singers. It's weird to me that musicians break so young, because as a comic, I feel like there's not like a lot of like famous comedians that are super young that are also, everyone would look at and be like, "Oh, that's really good." Like, I feel like it takes a little while. But with music, maybe you start music when you're younger. Also, she's related. She's in a music family. So, it's a song about this guy's not being nice to her, and she's breaking up with him, and I remember, I don't know, for some reason I'm really attracted to sad songs, because I think like nothing in my life, I'm very lucky, hasn't made me really sad. So when I hear something or watch a movie or something and I get to be sad, then it's like a little vacation, which sounds very privileged, but I feel like the benefit of sadness is very underrated. Like, when you feel sad, I feel like there's this huge relief of like, ah, finally, I don't have to be happy. Because when nothing bad happens to you and you're not happy, you're like, well, this is just me, you know? Like, when I get I got my kid to sleep, right? This is the name of the podcast is. Did I say that? I just got my kid to sleep. And I'm laying there because he fell. I lay down on a mat and then he falls asleep, and then I put him, and I'm laying, and I'm not asleep anymore. I'm just laying there, and I don't want to do anything, and I don't see the point of doing. I just like laying there in the dark, and not like oh, this is so meditate. It's just like I don't want to do anything. Not like I don't want to do anything. Like a joy, like oh, I don't have to do. But like I don't like it. Like when you have so much that you think that you should do, and it just doing the first. Like when if there's like a huge pile of dirt, and you got to move it up a hill, and you're like, I don't even know where to start. You're like, well, probably the first pile. But like it's like 11 o'clock or whatever because I fell asleep too, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do anything. Well, you could just go to bed, Michael. The podcast will be fine the next day. Well, I don't think I can fall asleep, and I'll just be doing. So let me pull out my phone. One thing I've been doing. This is crazy, but it's not good to drive and be on your phone for sure. But there's definitely this trend of like at a stoplight of people being on their phones, and you know that because they just won't drive when the light turns green. And I'm guilty of it. I've definitely checked my phone. I shouldn't do it around my son because I don't want him to get tattoos, but I also don't want him to be on his phone. So both things. If you have tattoos, it's fine. I've just seen people in his life get tattoos. I'm like, that's fine, but I wish that I just feel like it's so permanent. Anyway, like I don't believe in anything that much. I don't believe in anything that much to keep it in my body forever. Is that crazy? I think it's crazy that like it's cool to believe in something so much you put it on your body forever. Like how is that? Not because maybe that cool isn't the reason people get tattoos, but I would get a tattoo because it was cool. But I don't believe in anything to put on my body forever. Like I don't know. I'm Catholic, but I don't think no one in my on my religious side of the world is like you should get a tattoo if you love. Anyway, um, what was I talking about? I don't. Mm, I was I was there. I was really. Now I'm really lost. I'm super. Anyway. Oh yeah, sad songs. So like I'm laying and I'm like, but if I look around, really my life is like I have an apartment. This year there's some clutter, like whatever, Big Daddy clutter. But I get to be with my kid every day. 14 days. Like if you are a parent and like the days away from your kid when they're young, it's like so freeing. But then there's a moment you're like, I'd much rather them just be here. That's from my experience of like the times where he hasn't been in my house when I'm in town. I'm just like, why am I even alive? So like I have that. I have him. I have a house. I have internet. It's not 90's Amish. I have so much. I have a job that I like. I have people. I have family who would be there if anything ever happened. I know that I would be like nothing in my life could happen to me that would not make my life like I would have the support to be okay. No matter, sure, I might have to move back home, but like I would have the support to. There's nothing that that's ever gonna ruin. And so when I don't feel because you're not gonna feel joy every moment, then it's like a continual of like, well, I'm sad a little because I'm just kind of bored laying on the ground, and I don't want to set up a light in my bathroom right now. But I'm sad even more because I'm like, this is why you're sad. Do you realize how much more everyone else can be sad? So when you listen to a sad song or you watch a sad movie, you get to put yourself in the part of the character and feel sad, like legit sad. And that's why sad movies, I think, work. But specifically that song, July, well, I would say I've never sung it for karaoke, but I think it'd be fun because when Jack was like younger, like 2, 3, 4, and it was like really hard because they would take a nap and wake up angry at you. Like you put your kid down for a nap and they like sleep's supposed to help them, but sometimes they wake up and they're like, why am I not asleep for the whole night? Why am I asleep for a little bit? It's like they're so mad. And so all the things that she would say about her like verbally abusive boyfriend, I would pretend I was singing about my verbally abusive 2-year-old because it's not really because they're 2 and doesn't matter, but like it was more that's fun to do that. So Noah Cyrus. She also has a song about like her sister being happier. I gotta wrap up soon. Okay, we'll do 2 questions. If I was competing in another reality show, what would be your strategy? So if I was competing in another, I only did one reality show, Last Comic Standing, and my strategy for that one was just be like as funny as possible, which is pretty clear. But also for my sets, I wanted to do new stuff at the top, and because I felt like one of the notes I got in the earlier season was one judge said that I didn't sound like myself in the set. And it was because it was old jokes, and you get used to saying jokes a certain way and it's not necessarily who you are today. We change, we grow. So I was like, I'm going to do newer stuff at the top of every set and then go. And what happened was the set went really well. When you do a newer joke, the expectation isn't there of like, oh, I got to get a laugh here, here. This is how it should sound. But then when they actually put them on TV, they just put like the old stuff right after. I didn't know, but they didn't put your whole set on TV, so it worked out really well. And also, I really tried not to like worry or care about it. I wasn't like, and I think if I were to do another reality show, it would be like one like that, like a talent type show, like maybe America's Got Talent or another stand up show. And I think my strategy would be because I almost won. I made it to the last round, and I feel like in the last round was the only one where I was gripping the steering wheel a little bit of like this has to work, And I think my strategy would be just to like because like my strategy for last comic was I tried to do the funniest stuff I had, right? So I wasn't saving anything for anything because there's no tomorrow. It's either you win or you go home, or whatever. You move on or you go home. So by the time I got to the last round for where I was in my career at that point, I had like used a lot of stuff. And so the first joke that I did wasn't a joke that was really, really funny. It was a joke where I was like, oh, if people like this, then I can win. Like if this joke works, then the show is mine because the rest of the set is great. And they didn't. And then the closer was fine, but I think I would have put the closer first and just been like, well, I'll get him for the first minute and then we'll ride it out. And I think that's always important for any kind of probably talent, but definitely stand up is to get them as soon as possible and worry about the end later. If you're watching a stand up show and someone, how people made you laugh, right? And if someone makes you laugh at a certain level and then someone comes out there and they get you to that level right away, you're like, all right. And then wherever you go after that, if you build, that's great. If not, you at least got there. So I think the strategy would just be to bring the best, the earliest, but also maintain the sense of like, this is who I am today. I didn't get into that much I don't watch as much reality contests like Amazing Race or Big Brother. I feel like I would be kind. I don't have any story for sure. Like there's a new reality show coming out that Kevin Hart's producing, and they really want to know like about the people. Like I'm a dad, I guess that's something, but that helps. I think if you have like something they can explore, but also Last Comic Standing, there was no one coming to my house with cameras, so this theory of like, oh, if they're following you around, you're gonna move on. It's not true all the time. Anyway, maybe we'll answer that more later. But this has been episode 77. Now I'm going to get into the shows I'm doing. So if you want to go do your thing, do it. This is very clearly an ad for my shows now. So this isn't, if you're not going to come, maybe I'll say something nice, funny that I didn't plan on. But right now I'm just planning on listing some dates. And I'm being very transparent about that because if you've just hung out with me this long, you don't need to just hear an ad, or me to play it off like, oh, I'll be here and I'll be here. Even though I know, like, I can see the map of the people listening. That's not weird. It's only on the audio, not on the YouTube, but I can see where people are listening, and it's not in these cities, really. Maybe a couple. Anyways, I'll be in Salt Lake City Friday and Saturday at Wise Guys in the Rickles room, which means it's the small room, but plenty of good tickets available. That's this Friday and Saturday, August 29th and 30th. If you're doing days, August 31st, Sunday, I'll be at the Irvine Improv in Irvine, California for a 6 p.m. show. And then, it's the Sunday before Labor Day. You got to come. I wish it was a little later because it's like, but maybe it'll be good because it's California. People want to come out. But it feels like that's the one night where you could do a 7 or an 8 on a Sunday. Come on. I don't pick everything. Come out, buy tickets if you would like. I don't know. And then Wednesday, I'll be in Ontario, California, not Canada, California at the Ontario Improv. Thursday, this is next Wednesday and Thursday, the second and third. No, the third and fourth, I think. Next Thursday, I'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin at Skyline Comedy Club. Thursday, a Thursday. That's the only day I'm in Appleton. Usually it's a weekend, just a Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday after Appleton, I'll be in Janesville, Wisconsin at Comedy Cabin. Um, and then the next weekend, I'll be at Big Laugh Comedy Club. I thought it was Big Laughs, but apparently it's just Big Laugh. So once you get one, contract obligation done. In Fort Worth, Texas, the next weekend, like the 15th and 16th. And then the next week is Bloomington, Indiana, Wabash, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky, and possibly Lebanon, Tennessee. They went back and forth with us on that. So then that's it. That's it for September, I think. So that's the ad. If you know anybody in those towns who would like it, then, let them know. Salt Lake City should be great. Utah is great. All the places will be great, right? Anyways, episode 77. Thank you. I appreciate it.